Absolutely.
All right. We
Absolutely.
have Fraction up next.
Well, hello, everybody. Great to see everybody here. I was at the Microsoft Community Summit. I have been to a lot of those over the years. I was thinking about how long I'd been in the channel. I'd started back in 2001, so getting close to 20, well, 23, 24 years. So great to see everybody and to see how strong the channel was and to see Great Plains, or GP, sorry. People are still dedicated to the product, which is great. That's where I grew up and that's where I started. We are a procure-to-pay software company, and many of you actually probably aren't familiar with the name of Fraction. But if I was to talk to you and say, well, if you remember the product called eRequester, they started out in the Microsoft GP world back in 2000, and we merged with them in 2019, changed the name to Fraction as a whole because we offer so much more than just the eRequester component of it. So Fraction is the new branded name that we're going by. And then we, of course, hit COVID and didn't have any events. And so you may not have heard of us the way that we would have liked to. So happy to be able to present today. As I mentioned, we were founded way back in 2000, just after Y2K. And we're a global company working across many different geographies and obviously gold certified partner. But the key here is that we've got over, thousands of organizations that have used our system as they've grown. We manage over 16 billion in spend annually. We have over 200,000 active users in our system. And what that means for you is that we have a very tried and true tested system, and it's built on best business practices around procurement and the whole procure to pay cycle. And there's some exciting things that we're doing as well around the punch out and punch in functionality, as well as we're working on a Microsoft Teams integration. So we're able to move what we do into the systems that your teams are working in every day. And so I'll talk about those a little bit too. So everybody always says to me, well, what's procure to pay? We're basically a comprehensive all-in-one solution. So we do the purchase requisition. So that's from the request to the PO creation. We're able to control the budget, do the budget control and policy. Zubin has his budgeting model that he's shown you there. If you're using dynamic budgets, we're actually able to pull that data into our system so that you are looking at your data. And we want to make sure that we're putting data in the hands of the decision maker at the point of decision so they can make the best decision possible for your company. Obviously, we create those purchase orders and we send them out, including emailing them out, and we can actually see when the vendors looked at it so that you know what's going on. The part that people don't know is we actually do AP automation as well. So we're capturing the invoice using Microsoft Azure AI engine to extract that data and go through an approval process. And then obviously we can do spend analytics on that and all the different pieces. And then we push that into GP. In our system, we actually have our original eRequester product, which is on premise, but we also have our cloud version, which I'm going to be showing you today, and we're able to work within that hybrid model. So depending on what your needs are from a technology perspective, we can be on-prem or we can be in the cloud. We like that hybrid model. Many people have lots invested in GP and they don't want to lose that investment, and so we want to keep that there, but we also want to give them the opportunity to get as out in the cloud and using those type of applications through what we do. And so that's actually the solution I'll be showing you today. So some things that are important for us. We have over 50 punch out vendors, and we also offer a technology called punch in. Amazon created that in the last year, and we were one of 4 vendors in the US that was able to do that, where we're actually able to start inside of the Amazon shopping experience on their business account. When we go and do our shopping, and I'll show you a little of that shopping later today, um, I can start there. I simply select all the things I want. Instead of it saying checkout, is say submit for approval. I push submit for approval. It'll bring all those line items with all the pricing detail in and go directly to the approver who then approves. And when the PO is created, we automatically send the invoice back to, or sorry, the PO back to Amazon. Amazon obviously fulfills, electronically sends us the invoice. We capture that and we do the three-way match. So that punch in functionality is going to be getting more and more out there for other vendors, but we have over 50 punch out vendors that we work with, and that really automates that marketplace experience or the web buying experience. We're using the Microsoft Power BI embedded into our system, so you can do some of those pieces. I talked about being able to submit and approve purchase orders via the Microsoft Teams, so we're moving our application to the applications where your team is working anyway, and that's really part of that modernization of the workforce. And we have also a mobile app, which is available on both Android and iOS. And to make that easy, because lots of people are working in remote places or they're out or they're busy and logging into their computer doesn't make sense. So to have that on the app makes a huge amount of sense for them. And then obviously we do the integration into GP. So I did talk about having that mobile experience, and that is actually a critical piece. We find that um, you don't want people logging into GP to create POs and do requisitions. It's very hard to do. I'm, familiar with some of the old web systems that GP tried to put in place but never quite worked. And so we really take this experience and take it out to the users in different places. You can do everything on that mobile app you can pretty much do inside of the application on the web. And so it's a great place to be. And one of the features we just recently added was being able to receive goods and services. So if they're out in the field managing a building, whatever it might be, and they receive something away from the office, you're able to find out if they do it. And that gives your accounting department excellent visibility into, hey, did we receive this? I've got the invoice, but I don't know if that actually we received that good. They will know. All right. So with that, I'm actually going to flip. Oops, I'm going too fast here. I'm going to go over to the system. We're going to show you how it works here really quick. All right, so I'm going to log in as a couple of different users here. So the one I'm going to start with is my request user. And so these are the people that go in and they need something to buy. And this could be any one of your staff. It could be anyone within inside of the pieces. So under my requests, you can see here. So I'll start with my dashboard. In my dashboard, I can see all the requests I've made. So if I've got a centralized purchasing group, they'll see what they've been doing from a request and a PO approval process. If I'm just a general requester, but I'm out there and I'm working on projects and I'm making a bunch of requests, I can see where I'm at, number of requests I've done, what my approval time has been. You'll see my activity timeline. These are things that are happening right now and people are looking for, and are important for me to get to. And so I can see that right away. But when I go to a purchase order and I want to, or sorry, request, I'm going to make a request. So today I've got my GP demo day. And I've already pre-loaded this request up so you can see what's going in here. I've got a laptop from Second Gear. And if I open that up, you'll see here, I was able, just a quick description, tax rates. I pull those tax rates from GP, what the quantity might have been. I pick my vendor. And here's the key. I can pick my approval path. So I can have multiple approval paths, even in a single request, depending on which department I'm working with. And then I can add any attachments that I want. But I also, you can see here that I've got a Samsung 27-inch monitor that I wanted. I bought it. I was looking at it from Amazon. So I'm going to show you how Punch Out works for those that are not familiar with it. So for us, I simply go up and say, hey, I want to buy something. I have all these suppliers that we work with today. There's more than that, but are available for me to purchase on. And so I simply just say, well, I'm going to buy from Amazon. And it's going to take me out to the Amazon website to continue my shopping. And so you'll see here, I'm now in there. It's recognized me through my authentication. And we do use Active Directory authentication so that we can hook up to the authentication with inside of your organization. And let's just say I need another monitor, computer monitor. I like to have two when I'm going anyway. Oh, I like this one right here, this Acer. That looks good. So we say add it to my cart. Once I've added it to my cart, I'm going to say, see here, it says, instead of saying checkout, it say submit these for approval. And when I click submit for approval, it's going to load this up and it says sending cart to your procurement system. And you'll see here that I've just added that Acer monitor. It's got the general approval because that's what the workflow I've been working with. My vendor's all attached and all my detail is available to me. And so it's ready to go. And when I'm ready to submit it for approval, I go here and I push submit and away I go. It's that simple. And I can do the same thing for expenses. You can see here, here's my travel to Seattle recently. Here's all the different pieces, my cab fare, my flight. I can add all these pieces. So as a requester, I've got access to all these things. I'm going to go into as the department approver real quick and show you what that allows you to do. So you can see here from a dashboard perspective, I can see all the POs that I've approved and worked with over the last little while. And when I go into purchase orders, I'm going to go into my open purchase orders here. You'll see that all the available purchase orders are available that are available and open are sitting here. And so here's my demo that I've done for a client recently. You can see I bought some black toner and some color toner. I ordered five, and you can see here that I have also received five. Quantity five, completely received, and away I go. If I want to add a packing slip, I can add that packing slip there. And this is what gives the accounting department who is going to receive the invoice, they know that one, the PO matches, and that the receiving documents are all there and that they've actually received what they've got. And so that makes it perfect for allowing to do that. If I need to revise a PO, I can do that here as well and call that change orders. I'm able to do that in this side as well. And so when I'm doing this, when I push approve, and let's say, for example, I'm on these open ones, I have the ability just going to go in here. I can see what the PO was. So if I need to go back and reprint that for somebody, I can do that. It's right here, very simple, very clean, and these are modifiable to what you want and add your logo, change them the way that you want to look and see. And the other part here, you can see I have an invoice that's already been received against this. So it's matching it up for me and letting me know that not only did I have the PO, I got receiving, I've got an invoice that's matched to it, and I can actually see the full audit trail history in here as well of what's happening. And so I think that's a real key there. Now let's talk about what happens when you get the invoice in. And I think this is the part that most people didn't realize we were doing. I'm going to go in as the AP processor for my organization. If I look at my year to date, here's the number of purchase order amounts. Here's the number of requests, sorry, payments. I'm going to go into my invoices. Sorry, my dashboard. That's where I wanted to start. I go AP automation, and you'll see here how many invoices I've processed, how many emails have been received against that, any errors that have happened. I haven't done much this month, but if you look at my annual, you'll see I've done over 632,000 in invoices, how many invoices I've processed, those different pieces. Again, gives them a quick view of what's going on. And then on this alert side, we can see what we need to make sure we take care of today. When I go into an invoice, I'm going to show you we have different types of invoices. You can manually enter them. You can drag and drop invoices in, and they will go to an AI review. And we use a Microsoft Azure platform with Doc AI to be able to do that. And so the cost of doing this is quite simple or quite low, but allows you to do a lot. And you'll see here this one under AI review gives me my invoice number. It's picked up my invoice date. If it had a purchase order, it would have brought it up. You can see here I've got an X. That's because the purchase order was not identified here. And that's okay. We can do this process for both PO and non-PO related invoices and send them through an approval process within inside your organization. And that makes it super simple because you're not having to buy licenses within inside of GP. You're not having people log into GP to make this happen. They can do those approvals outside of that. And you can see my confidence level rating across these pieces. So here's my invoice number, 96%. Up here is where it is. If I want to go down here, you can see it's picked up all the line item detail that you're seeing inside of the piece here. For example, this one's at 80%, which is not a big deal. We find that even if we get low confidence down to like 30%, well, why is that? So when we click on it here, this one, it's because it says three spools. So it did pick up the three, but you see the 30% confidence because it said spool instead of something else. And so it's picking up those anomalies for you. And if I have any problems, I can make messages, I can edit those. And at that point, if I'm happy, I just push save and create, and away I go. Now, where does this go? And that's the key, and why we're on this today is that when we do that, if you look here, here's a transaction coming from our system as a invoice, and it pushes over into your GP. And you can see my payables transaction inquiry here. That's my top one for the $300. When I get into it, it brings all those line items or the distribution of what's happening with that invoice, where it's going. And away you go from a payables transaction perspective, you're able to then apply it and then make your payment from GP. And with that, if you'd like to book a demo, please let me know. Happy to reach out. You can reach us at sales@fraxion.biz, or you can reach out to me directly, jesseb@fraxion.biz. Happy to do that and excited to continue working with you guys here. And with that, that's everything. And I did it with 12 seconds to spare.